俺はお前を信頼する。グレート！ケーキの大傑作バリットレックスの誕生だ。
How's it going, everyone? It is your boy Grave, and today we are going to be talking about Kamen Rider Revice episode 13. Let's not waste any time and let's get straight into the episode. The episode starts with a reporter reporting that the Phoenix Air Base touched down to refuel and supply. Ikki and Karuta are in the bathhouse as George took Ikki's driver to upgrade, and Yujiro took Karuka's for health reasons, leaving only Sakura and Daiji as the only riders. We cut to Aguilera, who is impatient to revive Gifu as she discusses the sacrifices with Giulio. Oteka enters with a new Phase 2 Deadmans who looks just like Oteka, but then he shapeshifts into his true form. And he seems to know Aguilera very well. Aguilera says that they are still 2 sacrifices short, but the Deadmans mentions that the lawyer from episode 6 can still be used as a sacrifice and is held in the Phoenix Air Base rehab center. So they leave to go attack the base with Aguilera summoning some juniors as a distraction. Ikki is stuck helping his father with his viral videos while Sakura and her mom are having an argument on Sakura becoming a rider. Just in time, Daiji comes in telling Sakura that there's a Deadman sighting, and they both leave. Ikki, being concerned about them, is suggested by Vice that he could help if Ikki lets him go, but Ikki refuses. Kind of showing that Ikki really doesn't trust Vice that much still. It's like, you've been through a couple of episodes together, you don't have any trust in him? But anyway, Daiji and Sakura arrive where the Deadmans are located and transform. Sakura's a little too happy about it, but Daiji notices that they only sent juniors and realizes that they're being used as a distraction for the Deadmans to attack the sky base, with the masked man, Haitani, I think that's his name, Haitani, freeing the lawyer. As Daiji and Sakura make their way to the sky base, they're stopped by Giulio and Oteka, and they transform and have this fight. I don't like how fast this episode's kind of going. It's going really fast paced. Karuka then informs Ikki of the attack at the sky base, and they both go towards it, with the doors opening for the Deadmans to enter, with a Phoenix member at the door. So we have another traitor in Phoenix. Like we've been through that arc before with Kagero and Evil. In George's little research lab, George is scanning all the stamps with this new one, but when he scans the rec stamp, it doesn't appear to work, which annoys George. All this is happening while Daiji and Sakura are fighting Giulio and Oteka, and they seem to be having a hard time. And as Deadmans go to attack Love Cub, Karuta defends her without his driver. You know, good guy Karuta, you know? Really trying to defend others even though he can't transform. Good rider moment. During all this, Ikki enters George's lab and tells him that they have to go and goes to take his driver, but George stops him, telling him that it's not ready yet, you can't take it. The juniors soon arrive and attack Ikki and George, and as Daiji and Sakura continue to fight Giulio and Oteka, Oteka attacks Daiji and it knocks him down, but it seemingly releases Kagero, who is excited that he's now free and transforms into evil and joins the fight, beating down Sakura, which is, you know, very good timing. Ikki defends George with Vice trying to convince Ikki that, hey, you need to let me go, but the Deadmans are defeated by a random Phoenix member. As the man goes to check in on George, the man suddenly attacks him and demands the new stamp and the driver, with more juniors showing up. Vice again tries to convince Ikki that, hey, you need to let me go so I can beat these guys, but Ikki refuses, And he just reveals that he still doesn't trust him. Vice is going like, "You still don't trust me?" And he says, "No, what do you think? You try to eat my mom. I'm not trusting you. I'm not letting you go without the driver." Vice, rightfully so, calls Ikki out like, "Can't you put a little trust in me?" And then goes off to fight the Deadmans as his little fucking phantom form. This kind of makes Ikki remember all the things that they went through, and putting his trust in Vice, he stamps himself, letting him out. And Vice punches the Phoenix member, and that reveals to be the shapeshifting Deadman. And Vice goes ahead and destroys the juniors. And I like that shot when he's about to ready to punch, looks like he's about ready to punch Ikki, but as he throws the punch, it turns out he's just punching the Deadmans behind him. I like that shot. That was a good shot. And just Ikki putting his complete trust in Vice. Now that trust kind of energizes the new Barad Rex stamp. And as the shape-shifting demon tries to go for it, Ikki and Vice transform and, knocks the shapeshifter down, forcing him to escape. Now back to the fight with Sakura, Kagero, and the two Deadmans. They are beating Sakura down like it's not a fair fight. Like all three of them up against Sakura, who, mind you, last episode was her first time turning into a rider. But Ikki rides in just in the nick of time to save her. George gives Ikki the Barad Rex stamp, and him and Vice transform into Barad Rex. Now that form, oh my god, that transformation was clean when the egg just like dropped on Ikki like how the stamp would be, and then Vice having to punch the egg to reveal Barad Rex Revice. And the suit is looking pretty damn crispy. Like, normal Rex Revi, it looked like it was like a pink rider with some blue highlights. But this one looks like it just looks pure, mostly pure blue with some pink highlights. Then Ikki charges in to fight the two Deadmans as Sakura continues to fight Kagero, as Vice tries to make a shield out of the broken eggshells and joins the fight with that. George gives Sakura a peacock stamp and uses it to turn Love Cub into fans. Now the peacock stamp is actually based on Kamen Rider ZX or Z-Cross, I think it's called Z-Cross, and she uses them to fight Kagero. Ikki fights the Deadmans with Barad Rex's ice powers, and he's making easy work on him. Like, it would make Katara and Korra from Avatar blush a bit. Like, wow, he's using that ice pretty good. With Rex using his makeshift shield, helping out with the fight. And I like that shield. That shield looks pretty good. Him having to make it with the broken pieces of the eggshell and him super gluing together. I fucking love that. Sakura uses a finisher with the peacock stamp on Kagero, defeating him, turning back into Daiji. Now that rider kick actually looks pretty damn beautiful. I am not gonna lie with you. With the fan separating, being turned into wings, and then the remaining wings being used as like a drill for a rider kick. That was actually pretty damn cool. We cut back to Ikki using one of the Barad Rex's abilities, which seems to be used to summon past remixes of all the other stamps. Like, he uses the Brachio stamp to summon a Brachio remix, and he uses the Barad Rex's finisher to defeat the two Deadmans. Oh my god, the Barad Rex finisher with all the ice and the sparkles, dude, that looked beautiful, man. Like, if you haven't watched the episode, I urge you to watch that. Like, that kick was just beautiful. After Julia and Ortega are defeated, they escape with Aguilera, who released the lawyer. So now they have, I believe, 4 sacrifices. Now they just need one more. But anyway, George explains to Ikki and Vice that the Barad Rex stamp was kind of meant to be used without a demon, just in case they can't trust Vice anymore, but it kind of needed the exact opposite to use it. It needed the trust between Ikki and Vice. Daiji and the others meet up with Ikki and Vice, apologizing for the lawyer escaping, but as a twist, George explains that it was because of a traitor, and that he has an idea on who it might be. As the episode ends with Yujiro walking out, turning into the shapeshifter. Now when I saw that, that blew my mind. Like, oh my god, Commander Yujiro is the shapeshifter. He's a traitor. Wow, I did not see that coming. That was just a mind-blown moment. Like, wow, and that's how the episode ends. Like, you just dropped a bombshell on me like that. Like, wow. Anyway, my overall thoughts on this episode was, god damn, this was such an amazing episode. It brought in the fact that Vice and Ikki now trust each other. Like, that was a whole thing. It made me realize that Kaguro's still around. It also made me realize that some of the former enemies from all previous episodes could potentially be a new sacrifice. Like, what if the girl from episode 3, what if she could be a sacrifice now? Or what if the Cougar Deadmans, he could be a sacrifice? Like, it makes you think that anyone could be a Deadmans and you wouldn't know it. Just look at Yujiro. You never expected him to be the shapeshifter. God, that was such a good episode. But anyway, guys, what do you think of episode 13? I would love to hear your guys' opinions. Leave it out down in the comments below. Join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, all those links are in the description. And as always, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Take care.